Hi, this is Jennifer Faulkner, Training Coordinator here at QuoteWerks. In this video, we will go over how to create a simple and group configuration. If you haven't already, I strongly suggest watching the Basic Configurator video to learn how to use configurations and a basic overview of them. The configurator is a powerful tool that simplifies the coding process by eliminating the need to memorize or look up product options and relationships. It allows a salesperson to construct a simple or group configuration on the fly by following a series of pre-configured prompts that guide them through the necessary steps of your coding process. Let's start off by navigating to the configurator window. We can access this window by going to Products, Configurator, or we can simply go to the toolbar and click on the configurator icon. To create a new configuration, click New. This will ask you to enter a name. Take note that this name here is for internal use only. Once you're happy with your name, click OK to save. Now we will select the configuration we just created and click Edit. Now we are on the Edit Configuration window. This window has 4 tabs: Settings, Flowchart, Custom, and Custom Memo. The Custom and Custom Memo tab will only be available when creating a group configuration. This Settings tab allows you to choose what kind of configuration you're creating. Be mindful that it will always default to simple. Below the configuration type, you are able to change the name and write any internal notes. Internal notes will not display to the customer, so they are a great way to make reminders or notes about this configuration. For example, I could put, "No other items can be added to this configuration unless they are accessories for that specific item." At the bottom, there is a On Item Double-Click Advance to Next Configuration Step checkbox. If this is selected while using a configuration, it will allow you to move to the next step automatically when double-clicking on an item. This is good for configurations that only require one item per step, as it allows you to quickly navigate through creating a configuration. The flowchart is where you'll actually build out your configuration with adding steps and items. We will start off by right-clicking anywhere on the empty space on this tab. Then click Create New Selection Container. You will enter the name of the container here. This name is not customer-facing, but be mindful that this name will display to your sales reps. For my example, I will put Monitors. If I right-click on my selection container, I can clone or delete the container, or I can edit the container by selecting Properties. When I select Properties, the Edit Selection Container will appear, or you can double-click on the container, and this will take you to the same window. The top bar will also state the container's name, so you know you are editing the correct section. On this window, you are able to change the name of the container, then the directions for this specific step in the config prompt. For my example, I will put, "Please select the type of monitor you want for your PC." Then at the bottom of the window, you are able to select the minimum and maximum selections for the step. For my example, I will require that at least one monitor has to be selected, so I will put a 1 here. Some people prefer to have multiple monitors for their PC setup, so instead of making my maximum 1, I will set this one to 6. The Items tab is where you can start adding products and services for this container. You have a few different options on this tab. You can add a bundle, a new line, an item to the container, or you can edit or remove items from the container as well. For a full overview of these settings, please check out our advanced configuration video. Clicking Add Item will pop up the product lookup window. For my example, I'm going to add 3 different types of monitors using Edelweiss. Notice when I add my monitors, the Edit Selection Container item window will appear. This window will allow you to retrieve the information directly from the database, update the quantity for the specific item, and then the sort order, which will allow you to adjust what order the items appear in the list. This window will be discussed in more detail in the advanced configuration video. For now, I am happy with the default settings and will click OK to add the items to my list. Then I will add my last 2 monitors also with the default settings. If I am happy with the items in my container, I will simply click OK. After the monitors, I want the next step to be picking the tower they want for their setup. Same thing, I will right-click, Create New Selection Container. Once again, I will name my container. My towers container was added off to the side of my flowchart. To make this a little more organized, I'm going to drag and drop my container anywhere on this page as I see fit. For my flowchart, I'm going to add this directly underneath the monitors. Next, I will add the items into my container. I will double-click to edit the container. For this step, I want the customer to be able to choose one tower, so I will set the minimum selection to 1 and my maximum to 1 as well. Lastly, I will set my instructions to say, please select one desktop computer tower for your PC. Then I will go to my Items tab and add my items. Once I am happy with this container, I will click OK to save my changes. Then I will add one more container. This one I will name Accessories. For this step, I will put please select any accessories needed for the PC. This is not a required step. Because this step isn't required, I will set my minimum amount to 0, and then I can set my maximum. For my example, I will set it to 10. Then I will go to my Items tab and select Add Item. To save time, I am able to add multiple items at a time by highlighting the items I wish to add, then selecting Select Add. The Edit Selection Container item window will appear for each item individually as I save, so you are able to make adjustments as you see fit. But once again, for my example, I'm just going to leave the default settings, so I will click OK for each window. Once I am happy with my containers, I will need to attach them. For this video, I will be creating a very simple flowchart, but a more complex chart will be shown during the Advanced Configurator video. To connect two containers, I will hover my mouse over the middle of one container, then drag and drop its line to the container I wish to connect it to. In this case, I wish to connect my monitors container to the towers container. We will then be prompted to select the type of branch we would like to use. We can use a default branch, navigation only branch, or one of the part numbers that we included in the monitors container. For now, we will select the default branch, but take note that we cover these in more detail in the advanced video. I will now connect my towers container to my accessories container. Let's quickly run through to make sure everything works correctly. I will click OK to save my changes, then select my simple configuration, double click or click Start. I can now select my monitors. Let's say my customer wants 3 of the same type of monitors. I can select the one I want and click Add 3 times, or double click that item 3 times. Then I can move on to selecting my tower. If I select more than one, I will receive this pop-up message here. Lastly, I can add my accessories, but I am able to skip this step if I choose. Once I am happy with my decision, I will select Finish. I will leave my quantity for this configuration set to 1. Notice that this simple configuration looks the same as if I were to add individual items to a quote. These items are not grouped together and have no relation to one another. Let's now change the configuration we just created into a group configuration. I will navigate back to the configurator, select my simple configuration, then Edit. From here, I will change my configuration type to Group Configuration, and then I can change the name. Take note that the settings window looks a bit differently for a group configuration. You are still able to add internal notes, but now you can give a configuration its own part number, vendor part number, and its own item type. From here, you can set the configuration description, which will be the section header on the quote. This is defaulted to be customer facing. Then you are able to add a picture for the configuration and set a unit price. The unit price is used to override the subtotal of all of the items. If you're running a special for this configuration, or if you wanted to give a flat rate for this configuration, then you could use the unit price override. Grouped configurations gives you the ability to access group properties. Group properties gives you the option to set a discount modifier. This will be applied to the section header on the quote. For the tax code, selecting taxable will apply the tax to the configuration after the discount has been applied. Selecting non-taxable will apply taxes to the total amount of the configuration before the discount is applied. You are also able to set configurations to recurring payments. You can include the first payment in the document total. Then you can specify if you'd rather charge the customer based off of the dates from the contract or specific dates. Lastly, you can set the recurring calculations. You can set the term, then if it's an APR or a lease factor, along with the percentage. Then lastly, you are able to check off the on-item double-click setting, just as you can under a simple configuration. The flowchart is going to be the same process that we walk through for a simple configuration. The only difference is when adding an item, you are only able to set an item as a product or service, a comment, or a heading. A simple configuration will allow you to have access to all line types. Once again, these get covered in more detail in the Advanced Configurator video. The other setting that is different is the Don't Include in group at the bottom. A reminder that a group configuration is a group of items, so if you wanted an item to not be a part of that group, select the Don't Include in Group option. This allows you to make modifications to certain items, or allows those items to be optional to the customer. Custom and Custom Memo are tabs that allow you to add more information to a group configuration that may not currently be available in the system. For example, under Custom, I change this field to say Color. From here, I can enter the color of the product. This will now appear on the group header line of my group configuration on the Quote Workbook. The Custom Memo tab allows you to enter more characters in case you need to add a longer description. For my example, I changed the first box to Protocol and can enter my text in the text box. Just as the Custom tab did, my updated header and text will appear on the Quote Workbook. Now that I've completed creating my group configuration, I will add it to the quote under my simple configuration so you're able to see the differences. The group configuration is highlighted in yellow. The description of the configuration shows as my group header line, and the subtotal of all of the items are added up next to it. Let's take a look at a quote to see how these two configurations display to a customer. As you can see on a quote, the simple configuration is individual items that display like regular items added from the product lookup window. The group configuration is under its own heading with all of the items displayed neatly under it. This is how both of these configuration types will look on the quote by default, but in the advanced configuration video we go over how the advanced settings can change the look of your configurations on a quote. As you can see, the configurator is a powerful tool that simplifies the quoting process. It is an easy way to save time and help eliminate errors on the quote. Once again, please check out the Advanced Configurator tutorial to learn the advanced settings for configurators in QuoteWerks. If you have any questions or concerns, please contact our tech support team at 407-248-1481 extension 3 or email us directly at support@quotewerks.com. Thank you for watching.